One of the nice things about crack climbing for me is that I don't have any expectations to myself, so I can just have fun with it. But today we're not doing crack climbing. No, because today I'm trying the lattice test. And for this test, I definitely have expectations to myself. This is one of the most scientific and hardest climbing tests I have ever tried.
You got 6 more reps.
Oh, 6 more!
These are the scores that count now.
The test has been developed by Tom Randall, who you all know by now, and his partner Ollie Torr, who's a former gymnast, a V13 boulderer, and holds a degree in sports science. Based on a series of different tests, they will reveal my strengths and weaknesses by comparing my score to a huge database of climbers ranging all the way from professionals to beginners. And at the end of it, I will get a score in form of a boulder and a sport climbing grade. After having done more editing than real climbing since retiring from competitions a couple of years ago, I was nervous that the test would reveal I'm physically, well, sorry for saying it, but only a V10 boulderer and AP sport climber. But I guess it's time to find out. Today we're not doing any hand jamming, are we?
No, we are totally changing up now.
We're doing the lattice test. Lattice test, right?
Yeah, so it's the lattice testing kit.
Yeah, and what is that?
It's firstly a way for us as coaches, so it's what Ollie and I do, and we are going to take you through a session together where we're going to find out your personal strengths and weaknesses in climbing and really push you hard through a series of tests to understand strength, power endurance and endurance.
Right. Okay. This looks very scientific.
Yeah, so we're going to start off by doing a couple of the strength testing, and we've got this new force plate up. So it's going to start off nice and easy with really hard testing, seeing how strong your forearms are. And then we get on to the really fun bit where we just make you suffer for as long as possible.
Fun for you, yeah.
It's great to watch. So then we'll test your power endurance effectively. Okay. So we're going to push you to your absolute limit.
One of the things that I always do as a coach, and when I'm doing any kind of profiling work with an athlete, is I go into it very open-minded. So I kind of know a little bit about you and your climbing, and I am genuinely going in just looking at what do the results say about Magnus. Okay. What are the good things? What are the not such good things? And I'm ready to be surprised. Yeah. And I think we will have some surprises today, which a lot of people will go, huh, I didn't realise that. Yeah. But that's exactly why we do this kind of profiling.
And you've already tested some pretty big names, right? Some strong climbers.
Yeah, so you've had people like Steve McClure, Ben Moon, Alex Magos. Oh, wow. Yeah. So we've got a lot of people at the top end and then all the way down to sort of 6A and below.
How many people have you tested by now?
In all the different tests, we've got thousands of data points now, so thousands of climbers all over the world.
Yeah, wow. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah?
I'm warmed up, I'm good to go.
So we need to do weigh-in first, don't we?
Okay.
Yeah, this is the...
Well, last time I weighed myself on camera, I was 72.5 kilos. Is this in pounds or kilos?
This is in
This
kilos.
is the bit that all climbers hate doing, because they're going to find out how heavy they really are.
Oh, kind of light today. 69 kilos.
69 kilos?
Yeah. I think it's the British food.
I had fish and chips yesterday. I don't think it's British food. Harness is on.
Cool. So what we're going to do now is, Magnus has put his harness on. We're going to start gradually attaching more and more weights to his waist and make that until he gets his maximum load where he just can't hang on any longer. We're going to time it using the crimp tap, and he's doing 7-second hangs and until he fails pretty much. You look nervous.
I am nervous.
So we're going to do 10-second countdown, 7 seconds hang, and then a little break so that we can make the weights higher.
How much weight is on now?
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
You just get on with the hang-in.
3, 2, 1.
Good. And down.
Pretty casual.
Okay, so give me a rough feeling of how that felt compared to your max. Where was that? So I can start to work out how much I'm putting on now.
I think I can do 20% more.
20% more. Okay.
That's a very accurate guess there.
Yeah.
20%.
So that felt like a bit of effort, but comfy-ish.
Comfy-ish, yeah. You still not going to tell me how much weight this is?
Nope.
Okay.
That's So there it goes.
What we'll do is we'll collect all of the results. Me and Tom will talk about it and whisper, and then we'll tell you at the end. So we'll reveal all the results right at the end.
Okay.
It's actually quite good if you are doing a proper testing session to not know too much about the numbers that you're getting involved with straight away, because then the psychology doesn't get in.
Right.
So if I told you on here there was 75 kg and you'd already done your PB, whoa, I'm so psyched.
I don't have a PB on these holes though. Like on this edge, I don't know how much I'm able to hold, so I don't have any reference.
Nice.
Good. Come on.
2, 1, down. It's still pretty casual.
Was that 20% more?
Yeah, it was actually a little bit more than 20% actually. Good, come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Nice. Starting to get a little shake on it.
Yeah, that was close to my limit.
What would you be unhappy with as a weight?
I'd be unhappy with 50 kilos. We talked about this off cam, and my guess was between 50 and 60. 60 I would be happy with, 50 I would be unhappy with. Anything in between would be like, okay, I guess.
I think you're going to be surprised.
It's getting heavy on my legs too.
Come on.
Good, come on.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, that was matched for me.
Let's count that up. So,
all right, moment of truth.
Right, just before we learn, what do you reckon?
58. I'm feeling strong today.
knowing the data,
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn certain it's more than that. I'd be surprised if you were doing 58. You're going to be up closer to 70. So 15, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75.
Holy crap, 75 kilos. That's more than I would never have guessed.
That's a
I
good
mean,
start.
I wasn't trying to be humble. I was actually like, I did not think that I would be at 75 because I've tried this at home on the campus runs, and I've not been able to do even 70.
See, one of the things that we have, the knowledge that we have over you on this testing is that obviously with this testing edge, we've tested a lot of very high-end athletes, and the top end in terms of international performers will be holding at least their body weight and a little bit more on this 2-arm test. So it doesn't surprise me at all that you're operating around your body weight or a little bit more.
My endurance is not going to be as good as it has been.
Well, it'll be really interesting once we get to the end and we're looking at the results, how the results look in terms of endurance versus strength, and whether it matches up with you. It'll tell us a little bit more about how much of a natural you are.
Cool.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the next test.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at the forearm flexor. So that's the ability to roll the forearm up and curl the fingers closed. And then the other side, which is the forearm extensor, which is to roll the wrist backwards and then open the fingers out. So we're going to look at the balance between those two. And then keeping your elbows fixed, you're going to be bringing your wrists backwards to a flex point. Okay, got that bar?
Yeah.
So relax and bring it forwards. Okay. 1. Down, good. Okay.
How much weight was that?
That was...
Oh, you're not supposed to tell me. I don't have any reference here, so...
No, it was surprisingly good.
Okay.
I'm going to say. I'm going to add it up in a second when we get to max, but that one's already really surprised me. So what will be really interesting is to see the balance of those flexor curls now, and whether you have a nice athletic balance, because there's a ratio that we're looking for here.
Okay, well.
I think this one's going to be pretty hard.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that's too much.
Right, I think we have your number from the previous set.
It's so good to see because you look so disappointed when you can't do it. You're like, oh, I can't do that.
Rolling down the fingers. Okay, and now close. Close, 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 close. Roll, roll, roll. Good. And back down. I think what's nice about this particular exercise here is that you get a normal finger curl, but you also get a wrist curl in the same movement. So you add both of those elements into it.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for next level up?
Yep.
Okay. This is kind of heavy just for me to pick this up. Okay, that's good. So we'll roll all the way out to fingers extended. Okay, and now close. Rolling up. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, form started to go on the wrist curl part there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Stop there.
Yeah, I don't want to fatigue too much before the
okay.
actual bit. So now we're going to go for the money shot, and we're going to try and test your biceps out and see how strong they are.
Okay.
Now we're okay.
Now we're okay.
Right, let's load him up.
That looks like a lot.
How are you feeling about this one, Magnus?
Not as good. I haven't done much like bicep curls. I haven't done much of. I'm already looking at the weight and it looks like a lot. Big dumbbell.
We're using the preacher bench, so that it means it isolates that movement alone, and you can't get away with swinging or doing anything else that you might do with a bicep curl standing up. On there. Go.
No chance.
Think you lower it. Cool. That surprised me actually. So we'll go for the other arm first now, when you're ready. Just from there. You can go slightly bent arm. Go. No chance. A lot of people may assume that because you can do loads of one arm pull-ups, your biceps are going to be really overly strong. But so far it kind of shows that there's loads of other muscles around your shoulders that are actually helping that out. And it's just not about having big biceps and pulling hard. So slightly bent arm and then pulling from there.
Yeah, that was.
And then the same on the other side. Nice.
We're trying again, or?
We'll go for one more and see if we can reach that max level. I want you to fail, but not just fail completely. It needs to be doing one rep at absolute maximum, and then the other one is just too hard to do.
I think it's a lot easier though when I start with the bent arm.
Slightly bent, yeah. I think you're a bit too straight the first time. Significantly weaker though, isn't it, that arm?
Yeah, that's my left arm. 200 grams less muscle mass in this one.
Oh really?
I did the DEXA scan.
It's not a major weakness, but it's definitely behind other climbers we've tested at a similar standard.
Yeah, I think that's so far in terms of those basic weight strength exercises, that one's the most surprising. And you can see how much we were surprised by it because we put you on the wrong weight initially. And it was much too high. Nice. Way too easy.
You say.
Left arm.
It's interesting, you've got quite long connected points on your biceps.
Oh yeah?
Like, you know when you see like bodybuilders and they have that like peak?
Yeah.
It's not very good for force, but yours goes quite far down.
Okay, right.
Yeah, which is quite interesting.
So that's good though, for like one arm strength.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Come on.
Go on. Nice. When you're doing a movement like that, if you start quite straight, it's really hard. And we always say start with a slight bend, but if you start just a little bit more, you're that bit closer to finishing the rep. And that time on your left arm was a little bit closer.
But the right arm was okay?
The right arm was perfect, So
yeah, should we just call it there then?
Yeah,
let's do it.
So what are you about to do now, Magnus?
Now we're about to do a dead hang with one hand. Max 7 seconds. Putting on a little bit of extra weight. So my feet will be touching the ground, but I try to apply as much force as possible to this crimp over 7 seconds.
That's it, so over 7 seconds, and then when we do the testing later on and we're still keeping this on, it means that his feet aren't going to come off the ground during the power endurance testing. So we've got this force plate, which thanks to Dave Giles, who's one of the researchers that works with us. As soon as he pulls down on that hold, which is the same one as we tested before, it's going to read through onto my laptop, and it's going to tell us what force he's pulling, how many kilograms, and it's going to be really close in terms of the amount of time that he's on there. So it's really detailed, and it means all the power endurance testing can be tracked and recorded. I want you to weight it. You're also going to try and weight it as fast as you can. So as soon as you go on, you're going to finish lifting. It's also going to measure the rate of force production. Sight.
Come on.
Nice. Hard?
Yeah, it was hard. That was, I had to keep my feet on the ground. I wasn't able to hang off one hand for 7 seconds with this extra weight.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So a little rest, and then we're going to go on the same on the other side and see if there's a difference between your 2 hands, the strength. And then we'll have a little bit of a rest, and we'll do the power endurance aspect testing, which is the fun bit for us to watch and the horrible bit for you to do.
Okay.
Was that your strong arm?
That was my strong arm, but the finger strength is almost as good on the left arm. It's more the upper arm strength that's better on my right arm.
That's going to be interesting because we often see that the strongest arm will have slightly weaker finger strength scores. So it's like it's in contrast to each other. But that's the arm, as in talking about what you can, bicep curl or
lock off.
But the shoulder then has a more positive influence on the finger strength. So that's strong shoulders good for finger strength.
That makes sense.
So Magnus, how are you finding the training so far? It's a bit more in depth than what you were expecting.
It is. I'm excited to see the results. I'm a little bit stressed about this timer.
Come on. Nice.
That was not as strong, I don't think.
So now what we're going to look at is this critical force testing, which is effectively power endurance. And if you ever wanted to watch a climber just suffer and suffer and suffer, this is the test to do that. It's great fun to watch, it's horrible to do.
So it takes 7 minutes in total?
7 minutes, and you're doing 7 3 repeaters. So 7 seconds hanging, 3 seconds off for 7 minutes. And most people will think, and I think you said this a minute ago, is, oh, okay, so I'm going to pace myself. There's absolutely no pacing. It's max effort, suffer as much as you can, and just try as hard as possible on every single hang. So that's why we're going to add some more weight again. Come on, come on, come on.
Good.
This is why it's really fun.
I don't even have time to chalk.
Come on.
Come on.
Down. Good. Come on. Go, 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 go. Come on.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, this is
really good.
This is torture. I know, just started.
Come on. Really good.
Come on.
Come on, keep trying, no pacing. Go.
Come on.
Really good. Come on.
Really good. 2, 1. Oh, good. And no flicking of those hands. Just
No
a
flicking?
little relax at the bottom. Just focus on chalking up your hand each time. Good. That's it. That's it. Yeah, good. On.
It's on the screen as well.
That's
Come
it.
on.
Really good.
I feel like I'm pulling with like 5 kilos or something now.
Come on, you're still doing
Are you
really
okay?
good.
No, you're doing good. It looks good in on here.
Come on. That's it. Max effort.
That's really good.
Really, really good. Come on. Again.
Good. So you're really getting to this middle zone now.
Pete's watching and he wants to have a go now. He wants to try and beat the score.
Good balance.
Come on.
So stick with it. Really good. Use that body weight to exert the force.
Yeah.
Use your body weight.
Good. Come on.
Good. Come on. Yeah, looking really good here. Really nice consistent force.
Come on.
Yeah, really nice and consistent.
Come on, so you just got to keep fighting that feeling. Come on.
So try and keep these consistent through these hangs.
I know it's not really intense.
Keep it consistent. You're doing really well. Just think about this being on a route now.
Come on.
Just keeping it really consistent all the way through. Keep squeezing that forearm. Good, yeah. That's really good now.
Back on.
It's like no point of chalking, that's not what matters.
No, just keep pulling. Really good. Keep using that body weight to pull it down. That's it, yeah, just really hanging up the body. Just bringing those feet off the floor almost. Good, and off. And on. Good. Pat that finger. Get some short on there. On.
Again.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, some really nice results on this now. Only 8 more reps. Oh, good.
Oh shit, that hurts.
Come on.
Come on.
Ah, come on!
Good. Off. And on. Come on. Keep it. Come on. You've only got 6 more reps.
Oh, 6 more?
These are the scores that count now. Come on. And down. Stick with it. Only 4 more. Last 4 now.
Do you enjoy this, Ollie?
This is great.
Good. Off and on. Really good, really good.
Come on.
2, 1, off. Good.
Come on.
It's the last 2 now.
Nearly, come on. Last one, come on, last one, go on.
Oh no, it's actually 2 more. Come on.
Oh shit,
Good.
I'm gonna be sore for a week after this.
Good, last one now. This is the last one.
Come on. And
That's the worst thing I've done in like years. I can't remember being in that much pain. Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, that's reasonably pumped there.
I was just waiting for you guys to say that. This is not really part of the test. We're just messing with you.
No, it's really hard, that test.
It's like, I feel like it's also like almost a mental test, you know? Because I just wanted to give up, honestly. Because you're in so much pain.
Yeah.
I think that really can tell like who the good athletes are, the ones that can just suffer and suffer and suffer, and by the end you're trying so hard, and that's exactly what we want to see.
The really good thing about this now is now we're taking you through the full kind of fatigue profile, and we've taken you all the way from the very freshest that you'd be all the way through to the absolutely most fatigued, and then that sort of takes you through to the end of the test, and we get to see that amount of power, that force you're generating fresh versus totally and utterly fatigued.
So we've just got to do that 5 more times, and then we can call it a day. It's alright now.
I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Oh no. I forgot to press record.
He's learned now.
I was just panicking the whole time, just checking that was recording. So I can't make you do this again.
And yeah, I don't know how I did. It felt like I was not applying a lot of pressure at the end there. So I'm excited to see what the test says.
That's why it's really important that when you were doing that test, we really had you try really hard all the way through, because what you can see is that with climbers or athletes who don't have the mental strength, they deliberately try and pace themselves because they don't like going through the unpleasant part of that cycle.
Okay,
so they go easy on themselves, and then when they get to the last minute of the test, they think, okay, now I'll just put some effort in for the last minute because I can hack that. Whereas you can clearly see that you can get to the limits of what you're capable of for the whole 7 minutes. It's not pleasant, but it gives so much better data and better results that we can actually do something with. Oh, I can see that that critical force curve's coming up.
That's a bloody good curve.
I know, I was just looking at that. I was looking at after when you were like a minute and a half in. I was
really shocked actually. That was good.
It's just outrageously good.
halfway something that's really interesting, and you were saying you found it so mentally hard, all of a sudden you just tried even harder and kicked in. But like this score here is still bloody good.
Yeah, that's really interesting to see that, because I would have put good money on the fact that if you're spending a lot of time in a bouldering phase, not doing loads of fitness, is that critical force, that value that we're seeing at the bottom of the curve would be really quite low.
Yeah.
But it's a lot higher than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Kind of tells you a bit about why you achieve what you do with some of the route climbing you're doing.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we're gonna have quite a good rest now.
Yeah.
And then we will
lactic
get
curve, honey.
lactic curve.
Last part of the test.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this bit now, we're going to be moving on to the lattice board. And the lattice board, for what we do with lattice, is a climbing specific way of really looking at the fitness of a climber and how quickly they can recover. So we're going to be doing one particular test with Magnus today, which is called the lactate curve. And this is all about looking at how you manage fatigue and recovery in a climbing experience. So you're a route climber, so we're expecting your route recovery to be quite good.
Okay.
We hope. Or
I hope so.
We'll see. It's another very hard test. If any of you went onto this test here, you'd finish it and go, wow, I probably have never done anything as hard as that before. So I'm going to be pushing him hard here. And the first thing we need to do is we need to find out max score, so the amount of time and the amount of moves that Magnus can do on the board first of all, and then I'm going to take him through a series of tests. I'm not going to tell him where the end is, but then when we get to the end, I'll let you know, and you can lie down on the floor and you can wallow in your misery. And then
I'm done with the test.
Yeah, you are done, and then we can look at results.
Look at the results. Let's go.
2, 1, go. Try and stay on your feet now if you can. You really want to kind of like try and recover and dispose that lactate as much as possible, as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Because you have just under 4 minutes rest now. No, just under 5 minutes rest. So we did this first test and Magnus did an all-out power endurance test essentially. And his forearms will be really, really acidic now. So lots of lactate produced, lots of lactic acid. And now we get to see how quickly is he disposing of those metabolites, those waste products in the forearm in a kind of around a 5 minute period. And then we test him again now to max and see the relationship between that first max score and then the second effort. So how much recovery is he getting? And what's really interesting as we progress through these tests is we put this muscle into an increasingly acidic environment and it's spending more and more time in that, so we understand what's called buffering capacity. So that's the ability to deal with the acidity in the muscle and the relationship of what's happening in your climbing and the performance that you have over a longer period. So we get to see two different types of recovery here.
Right.
Initial recovery rate and then all out to total destruction recovery rate. And it's interesting with this test as well is that we test a lot of people who aren't just route climbing specialists, they're bouldering specialists as well.
Yeah.
And I always get this where boulderers go, but what's the point in doing this kind of test?
Yeah.
But actually it's very relevant because We have particular expectations in terms of how the muscle performs for both bouldering and sport climbing. So if we understand what we're expecting from a boulderer, we look for that profile in the results.
Yeah.
If we understand what we're looking for a route climber, then we look for those same set of results. So we have different expectations. And I know what I'm expecting for you, and we'll see whether it matches up. Go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Come on. 82. Stick with it. 83. 84. Come on. 85. That's it. 86. 87. Come on, come on. 88. 89. 90. 94. Good at 91. 2 minutes 40.
Sometimes I just wish I could remote control myself so I didn't have to be in my body while doing this stuff. Like playing PlayStation, you know? Having a remote, controlling myself so I don't have to be in this pain.
One thing you always see, you just stay on your feet,
Yeah.
keep moving around, recovery rate's a little bit better.
Yeah.
So keep shaking out.
Shaking out. But not stretching though, that's a bad thing, right?
It's not
You don't want to
gonna-
stretch.
I don't know of any evidence that's going to say that you're going to recover better from getting pumped by stretching.
No.
The best evidence says being active and moving around is best for recovery rate.
That was a shorter break.
Yeah, they get shorter. Go. 1, 2.
What are you doing, Ollie?
So I'm currently going through the results from the previous testing we've done while Magnus is finishing up now and trying to not die. So going through the results is really interesting because what we've found is a lot of the athletes that are really, really good, they've got a lot of intuition about what areas they're good at and bad at in whatever phase they are in training. And I think Magnus is going to be surprised. So we'll see what, at the end of this testing, we'll see what it is.
So hard to stay motivated and not just like let go because of the pain. Try to like really want it. I don't know.
15 seconds.
It's also hard because I don't even know when this is gonna stop, you know?
Go. 1, 2, 11. Come on. 6, 39. Good. Keep shaking out. Keep shaking out. Okay, 10 seconds.
Yeah. Oh. This is good though. This is a good workout at least.
Go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come on. 6, 7, 28, that's it. 9, that's it. 30. 31. 10, keep shaking out.
You're starting to wonder whether you should have agreed to this.
Yeah. I enjoy the pain though, deep down inside.
3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 13, 14. Come on. 15, 16, 17. Come on. 18, 19, 20, 21. Come on, stick with it. 22, 23, 23, 30.
I tried so hard, yes. Oh.
Well done.
Thank you.
Bad news, Magnus. It's really bad news.
Bad news. No.
So it's really interesting actually. So you told us a couple of things at the start of today. One being that you weren't in very good form, particularly not in good root shape.
Yeah.
No, it was interesting to hear your thoughts on what you thought would be good, what you thought would be bad, and your intuition on it. And generally, like most good climbers, you're actually pretty accurate with that.
Okay.
So basic finger strength, so that was the 2-arm test and the 1-arm test. First of all, they were both pretty close, so left arm, right arm is almost identical in strength. The 2-arm hang and 1-arm hangs were close, which means that his shoulders are strong. So he's not really weak when he's going on to 1 arm, and he's not really weak when he's got loads of weight around his waist. And your finger strength came out at 9A plus and V13.
Oh wow.
8B font.
I'm happy with that.
That was more than you thought as well, wasn't it?
It was more than I thought. I thought I'd be in like 8C plus, maybe V11, V12 shape right now.
I do think that one thing that's been really cool to see from this in terms of the results is that the base level of fitness that you have developed over the years, so all that competition experience that you have, has set you at such a high level, which is almost your untrained level.
Yep.
And the value that we got out of the critical force today is kind of like a dream number that most climbers would just die. They'd love to have that number.
Yeah.
But you have that as your base number off season. So it just shows that when you have an athlete that's been training for years and years and years, that really counts, and all that experience has established that base level as being very, very high. So anytime now you want to peak on it and refine it, you're in a perfect position.
Yep. It's good to know.
I think something else that was really interesting was the fact that you actually got that really good try hard. Like during that 7-minute test, we actually made you go for a minute longer than normal, just for extra.
Okay.
And you were just trying so hard all the way through. And I think realistically, that's what makes the difference between the really good climbers and the okay climbers.
I agree 100%.
And it's when you have that ability to be able to try really hard, and say you can put that into your training session every single week, every month, every year for 10 years, then that's the thing that really brings out that top 1% in people, but it's very hard to do.
It is very hard to do.
It sounds easy on paper, but do it for 10 years, every week.
Yep.
It's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah. So what should I work on to be a better climber? Like what am I weak?
Well, so the other bits of the testing which didn't come out quite as good, we're looking at the energy systems, and this kind of marries up with what you said about not being in good root form right now.
Yeah.
So one of those was that critical force test we did earlier on, where it was just hanging on and hanging on and hanging on, doing repeaters until there was some screams going on. We were laughing, and the really enjoyable section. So that score was your base endurance, so your critical force, and effectively it means the critical force results came out, and that shows us what force you can produce for a very long period of time where you're not getting pumped and you're not getting really acidic in the forearms and powering out. And that level of force means that we can predict how hard you can keep climbing, and if you can raise that up, it means you can work on a certain level of efficiency, so effectively base endurance. And that came out as really, really good. It could be a little bit better, but it shows that all of that training you did for years and years and years, and the mileage is still there, and it means that you're constantly maintaining that with what you're doing right now. Power endurance, on the other hand, that wasn't as good. So power endurance is the thing that tends to go down and up a lot quicker when people are training and when they stop training. And right now that's around 8C standard. And that's based on max moves on the board and then the initial part of that earlier testing on the fingerboard. So effectively what you're going to find is you might have one good attempt at route climbing at about 8C plus standard, and then it's going to drop down and you'll get too tired throughout the day.
To work on that.
So you need to get pumped more often.
People watching, if they want to try this, what do you recommend?
So there's a load of different ways to do this. First of all, measuring yourself is a really good way of testing. There's loads of testing protocols on the Crimp app, which is free to download, and that gives you a taster of how to measure yourself throughout the training season. And then we at Lattice, we offer loads of different assessments. That can be done remotely or in person in Sheffield, or with all of our assessors around the world. And I guess there's several spread out wherever you guys are locally.
And I should also say that this is not sponsored. I wanted to take this test, so this is not sponsored in any way.
You can tell because of how much we made him suffer.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe as always with post notifications on. And I will see you in the next video.